So I'm going to continue with the replacement of the 20 long with the 40-gallon breeder over here, and here we go. So I'm just emptying out the tank, but I'm going to save about 5 gallons of water to put it into the new tank. Rather than having 40 gallons of new water, clean water, I'm going to have 35 gallons, and I'm going to reuse the sand. So the tank will be cycled. I already have a heater ready to go, and from this tank, and AquaClear 70. So I successfully caught all the fish right in here. I have 10 Madoka white lips and about 7 Phosochromas, and they're just going to be stored until I get the new tank set up. So to remove the rest of the water, I got what I use with my water changes here is a Mag 7. Watch this. Just drop it in here. It'll do a pretty good job. Remove the water pretty quickly. Plug it in and right to the sink. Now I got the water all the way out, and now I'm going to swap the tanks. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to place the styrofoam that I cut out just the other day. And I want it to be exactly lined up with the other 40 breeder. And so here you go. Now I'm going to put the tank right in the spot. Line it up. It takes a little jiggling to get going. Make sure it's perfectly lined. I like to get the front nice and smooth, flush with the front of the tank, and centered in between the posts. Let's see how that looks. This takes a little jiggling. Put my fingers in here, equally distanced. There you go. And I'm just going to measure and make sure it's perfectly aligned. Now I got it perfectly aligned. I'm just going to put the sand back in, already seeded sand. I don't have enough sand, but I'm going to use what I got, and I'll add more later. Some more. This is pool filter sand, really cheap. Now if you notice, I have the tank a little bit out, like 9 inches out from the front. This way I measured it. Makes it easy to do on the work on the tank. Open the lid, get to the back of it. So you gotta always take that into consideration when you're positioning your tanks. There we go, that's all I got right now. Just a bit to cover the bottom. I'll add more later, like I said. Okay. Now I'm going to add some water. Add back the water. That tank to put me a couple of rocks. I'll decorate that a little bit later. This is just the water from the old tank. And I have some more for the fish. And what I'm going to do, pretty cool, got one of these temperature guns. And so I know this water is 77, 78 degrees. I don't know if you can see that. It's actually measuring wherever I point it right now. So I'll match the water temperature to the rest of the tank. So I'm going to measure the water coming out of the faucet. Let's see what that looks like. You can see it's 73. It's a little up, 72. So I'm just going to make sure that a little temperature, I don't want it too big of a change because I'm adding a lot of water. So I'll raise the temperature up. So I adjusted the knobs, the temperature, and you can see it's going up 74, 3 degrees. So I'm going to start filling the tank here. Let me show what I got. And we're filling. I'm not going to bore you guys with filling the tank. It's like watching sand dry. So while the water's going, I'm going to get my Aqua 70 in place. It's already seated because they just took it off the working tank. There we go. I always like to keep it in the same corner so I can interchange my hoods and tops just in case I have to do that. Pop the recycling tube. I cleaned it to make sure that it was good just before I put it in here. So, okay, here we go. And that's ready to roll. I'll be using a Eheim 125 heater. They're great heaters, and I kind of switch when I buy new heaters to the Eheim brand because I think they work and they're really good quality. So with the amount of water changes I do, I use Safe. It's very convenient, very inexpensive for changing water as much as I do a couple times a week. I just take a little spoonful. I'm going to be doing 40 gallons, so just a small amount in the cup. That's all you need. Mix it with some water, and good to go. So the tank is filled. We're going to check the temperature. Watch this. I don't know if you can see it. 77, 76. Perfect temperature. Matches exactly the water the fish were in. Now I'm just going to put the hood on, get the filter going, and put back the lights. So I'm going to measure the back plastic flat. This is really important to put on your tank. I've lost many fish jumping out of the back tank. Measured, it's about 13 inches I like to keep if I have a filter on the back. You know, it's a little bit big, but you know, gives me some room to work. And when the space is really small, it's hard for the fish to get out. So I'm going to use Lexan scissors that I've had for a while to just cut up the plastic. Got to make sure you're cutting it on the right side if it's going to attach here, the lip goes down. So there you have it. Got the top on, light on. That's not the real finished light. I have another light that I need an extension cord for. And the last thing I have to do is add the fish. I'm going to do that in just a little while. They're hanging out in the bucket, hanging out, not doing all right. I'm going to let the water settle, make sure everything, the parameters are good, and then we'll add them. So now I'm just going to put the fish in. Here we go. See how this goes. Come on, go in there, little guys. Oh, I got one stuck in the sand. They like to dive. Boxichrome like to dive in the sand. So, make sure there's no more in here. We should be good to go. Get a bucket, clean that out. There you go, folks. 40-gallon upgrade. Remember, rate, comment, and subscribe.